had previously had excessive force complaints for punching a woman in the face.
There was questions on it, allegations, yeah.
You had allegations against you for sexually harassing women at the Starbucks where you would do your paperwork.
I don't think it was that wordage, but yeah.
Also for inappropriately selling weapons.
Yep.
Voiding traffic tickets for friends and family.
Yes, I did that.
5 to 10 inquiries about using excessive force by Internal Affairs.
Sounds probably right.
You've been placed on leave with pay 4 times.
Yes, ma'am.
What types of incidents cause an officer to be placed on leave with pay?
Shooting incidents where somebody dies or there's substantial bodily harm to that person.
Boy, y'all motherfucker got it going on. I often wondered, man, why nobody thinks, and I'm pretty sure I shouldn't say nobody, but people don't seem to think through the fact that cops literally, like, it's presented to them, hey, if you shoot somebody, man, you can go home and get paid, you know what I mean, at the same time. And plus, probably get, like, a substantial GoFundMe from the Blind Blue linebackers, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's tax deductible or not. The government got to get theirs. Either way, this is crazy as hell. The only thing that tempers it for me is that it's in Nevada. I've been heard y'all super well. Trailhead Bill, live from South Florida. Let's see what's going on.
Good evening. A man is assaulted by Henderson police after he tried to help them, and now the city has to pay nearly $500,000. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy obtained video from that incident, sat down with the victim and his lawyer. Now, we do want to warn you, it is graphic.
For Jim Herndon, it's been 6 long years since he became the victim of excessive force by Henderson police.
A bad situation got out of hand and things just spiraled.
He was an assistant store manager at Sportsman's Warehouse. Officers arrive after a call about an armed shoplifter. Here, officers approach the suspect and he runs.
We had a firearm.
Herndon,
I didn't know what he would do.
a former law enforcement officer for more than 2 decades,
Just instincts from lots of years of training.
intervenes.
I recall jumping on him.
But he never expected what would follow.
I saw stars.
This is Sergeant Michael Gillis ramming Herndon in the head with an M4 and using a stun gun.
Somebody had their hands wrapped around my throat and was lifting me up, so I peeled fingers off my throat. Got hit a few more times in the face.
He says he suffered multiple injuries, including a concussion, and he has permanent nerve damage and some memory loss. But there's one moment he can recall after the incident.
They kind of chuckled and said, hey, we must have mistaken you for the bad guy. And it was really at that moment that I was kind of like, I felt like, well, they're all standing out here getting their story straight.
He later reached out to the city of Henderson
To even do the complaint and do the follow-up with that. I mean, they don't make it easy at all.
In 2021, attorney Marjorie Huff filed a lawsuit against the city, Sergeant Gillis, and 5 other officers.
It was very clear to me that, number one, the police had no plan, that they escalated the situation to a point that it did not need to escalate.
It was safer to have more people.
This is Sergeant Gillis on the stand.
And you would not change a thing.
No.
He testifies the incident tarnished his reputation, a claim Huff is ready for.
But you had previously had excessive force complaints for punching a woman in the face.
There was questions on it, allegations, yeah.
You had allegations against you for sexually harassing women at the Starbucks where you would do your paperwork.
I don't think it was that wordage, but yeah.
Also for inappropriately selling weapons.
Yep.
Voiding traffic tickets for friends and family.
Yes, I did that.
5 to 10 inquiries about using excessive force by Internal Affairs.
Sounds probably right.
You've been placed on leave with pay 4 times.
Yes, ma'am.
What types of incidents cause an officer to be placed on leave with pay?
shooting incidents where somebody dies or there's substantial bodily harm to that person.
And then the verdict, the city of Henderson must pay $450,000.
What stands out to you about the Henderson Police Department after handling this case?
They clearly have a culture that allowed this to happen. They had no intention of properly investigating either the incident or the internal affairs investigation. The whole thing was just a big rubber stamp We're just going to say they did the right thing.
It was never about money. It was about accountability. My only hope is that it's enough that it will make Henderson change their ways, and I worry about that.
He says the video shows the moment his life changed forever. Still difficult to watch, but he says he hopes his story may inspire others to seek accountability. Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Attorney Marjorie Hoff says this is the first civil rights trial in state history under a new rule that came down from the Nevada Supreme Court. Now, previously, civil rights cases had to be handled only in federal court. Gillis appears to have retired from the Henderson Police Department. Vanessa reached out to the city, did not receive a response in time for this report.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I got to give Americans a lot of credit, man. American citizens, I do, because, you know, standing down while these despicable terrorists literally terrorize our country, man. I don't know. It takes a lot of self-control, grace, patience, forgiveness, and cowardice. Now, I'm not attributing the cowardice to the Americans who recognize that these DTs are DTs. I'm attributing the cowardice to the blind blue linebackers who look past this type of behavior and then come with all the excuses of why we are actually the bad guys because we point out how cops behave. Cops are despicable, man. I think all of you are cowards, or most of you. If not all, I'm sorry. There's so much that stood out to me in this video, guys. If you didn't realize it watching it, that deposition that coward ex-sergeant, current full-time DT gave was in March 2024. I'm talking like, 3 months ago, guys. We're going to talk about that. You, Mr. 20-year former police officer, man, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, I get it. I guess if anybody gonna make, because they be brainwashing y'all so hard in that profession, man. I guess if anybody's gonna make that idiotic decision to intervene like that in a situation that the cops are already handling, mind you, this isn't an emergency where someone's safety or life is at risk. You think a criminal is getting away, right? We're gonna talk about that too. And you decide to jump in. Like I said, if anybody has an explanation for that type of stupidity, it probably would be somebody that had worked with those cowards. But other than that, sir, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. But the first thing I thought when I saw this dude is I said, he looks like one of those cats that be out here trying to play Mr. Hey, officers, we're on the same team. 99 reasons to never assist a damn police officer, and he thought he found the one. This nigga is crazy. If you don't know this, guys, let the police do their damn job. I mean, you might get a brain concussion being a blind blue linebacker trying to help them. Now, I know there are thousands of videos out there of people happily assisting the police and walking away safely. But why in the hell would you chance it? That's just crazy as hell. I have another question, man. Is it illegal to have a firearm? I mean, I'm just going off of the video, guys. They said that there was a shoplifter in the store with the firearm. Now, obviously, shoplifting is illegal, but I would have to research Nevada laws to find out if having a firearm is illegal or not. Because, I'm an auditor, I'm a cop watcher, I'm a government watchdog, and I watch, people, my kind. And citizens, cops, whoever, they commonly try to accuse us of behaving erratically, behaving dangerously, having dangerous weapons or whatnot, or illegally possessing weapons or whatnot. They do that to escalate the cops' response to their foolishness. They want the cops to come out there and treat us like we're in some third world country and violate our rights. And so to escalate that and enhance it, the response, they make up all these lies. So I'm just curious, when you guys say he has a gun, we're in the, I don't know how far, because I'm not that big of a 2A guy, you know what I mean? I'm saying I follow it like that. But we're definitely in the midst of like 2A, like, hey, that's one of our rights. What the hell y'all talking about? So I'm very curious about that, because I know the fabrication of citizens and cops saying it just to escalate a situation and try to get people that they don't like out of the way. I also know the horror of the times we live in where you see all kind of mass shootings and stuff. So that definitely stuck out to me. I mean, is it illegal to have a gun? I also noticed that the cops approached with weapons drawn. It's like they teach everything but investigation in American police. Now, I'm not naive. I don't mind the response. I think they mentioned in the video, why was there such a heavy response? I don't mind the response. Cops always respond in mass, and if you think somebody has a weapon, I don't mind the response. That incident was in 2018. I absolutely don't mind the heavy response. What I mind is you guys approaching the situations with your weapons already out. And my most viral short on my channel is one where the cop tells a suspect that they're trying to get to confess to murder that cops have sympathetic reflex all of the damn time. Meaning they shoot and kill people all of the time and they don't do it on purpose. And they get away with it. So for me, if nothing else, that's one more damn reason why none of you cowards should be approaching any situation that you haven't investigated or identified as hostile and dangerous to that capacity. You should not be approaching it with your damn weapon drawn. You just want to kill somebody. You just want to shoot shit up like those cowards up there in New Mexico. That stood out to me too, man. Guys, with this lawsuit thing, he won in the end, and they say that the sergeant was the only one using excessive force. So I was like, ain't no in hell they watched the same video that I watched, because at least one, we couldn't see all of those DTs, those cowards, but at least one other domestic terrorist was in the back playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out with the human body. Now, because I'm pretty sure it was the guy that they accused of being a shoplifter, because the other guy's body was pointing in the other direction. But to my recollection, at that moment in that incident, not one of those men had been factually found guilty of any crime. So I don't know what the hell any of them were treating them like. I'm not saying like why they were arresting him, but I'm saying I don't know why they were punching on that man, and we definitely don't know why that coward was acting like, you know what I mean, it's 2024, big dog. Why you using Civil War tactics? You thought that was a... Don't get me started. I don't mind them even grabbing him and roughing him up a little bit. We don't know, Negro. We got to call for a gun, and then I will come on the scene and it's a tussle. I'm always giving these domestic terrorists the benefit of the doubt that when the situation is out of control, it is part of their job to control it, because you don't want things to be wild and you don't know what the hell is going on. A lot of people get hurt. So I'm not upset with that. Your crazy self shouldn't have jumped in, bro. So as far as them wrestling and all, I'm not mad at that. But for them to say that the sergeant, this coward, was the only one using excessive force, and that's why they, you know what I mean, he won the lawsuit, that's crazy as hell. I seen that dude playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out in the background. And if y'all didn't see it the first time, rewind it, it's there. And then they said they must have mistaken him for the bad guy. You hear the dog whistle, right? The cops playing. If he was the bad guy, that type of response is acceptable. If he was the bad guy, it's okay to take that big ass gun and pound it on his head. You know what I mean? Like you'd be mad at the ping pong. Not even mad at the ping pong. You remember the old ping pong table? Or not, I keep saying ping pong. Ping pong. What am I trying to say? Y'all know that machine where you flip it and you got the thing, then sometimes the ball will get stuck. Why in the hell am I pinball? And sometimes you shake the machine or slap it. You know what I mean? Because why you slamming a big ass gun on that man's head like that? If he was the bad guy, you saying that would have been acceptable. If he was the bad guy, you're saying it would have been acceptable for your homeboy to be in the back playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out with his body. That's what you think, man. My question remains, sir, and you're going to answer this for me later in your deposition, but I'm still going to ask it. How do you know who the bad guy is before they have been provided a fair and just trial? How do you know who the bad guy is before they've had their day in court, which every single American is entitled to? Nobody in America, sir, is guilty until proven innocent. Everybody in America is innocent until proven guilty. I'm not talking about those domestic terrorist blue lines that y'all live and walk in that sometimes actually play out in our injustice courts. I'm talking about true Americans that won't bow down because y'all terrorize us and try to change the rules to work in your favor. No, Americans, even that alleged shoplifter who allegedly had a weapon that might have been very well legal, he had literally been found guilty of no crime. No bad guy, sir. You, cop, you're not there to determine who's guilty or innocent. Your buddies commonly say this in interrogations. You have to present the evidence to the prosecutor's office, and they determine that, punk ass boy. So, I mean, even if in your deteriorated domestic terrorist ass mind that was a bad guy, it just tells us where your ethics are at. It tells us where your morals are and your demonic heart is at when you say, oh, we thought you were the bad guy, as if that would have made y'all terroristic ass actions okay. No, sir. We are innocent until proven guilty. And if anybody disbelieves me, watch how this coward thinks and some of the things he says in his deposition. For me, I'm not sure how anybody could watch that. I want to reiterate. That was in March of 2024, like 3 months ago when that cow got sat on that stand talking like that. I don't know how anybody could watch that and not be either terrified or absolutely ready for war or both. Watch what he's saying. Watch the tone, the disregard that he's saying it with. You know, I probably, they said I did it. You know what I mean? Yep, I did let my family members off the hook. Yep, I did go home with paid vacation. How you get home with paid vacation? Shit, probably just got to shoot somebody and they die, something like that. They're going to send you home and pay you while you're there. Simple as that. He didn't give no damn. Ma'am, sir, we're talking about American citizens that he's out here brutalizing. If that doesn't terrify you or make you absolutely ready for war or both, I don't know, you some kind of damn alien or something. I don't know. And all he got out of all of this situation in his however long tenure domestic terrorist career is that because of this one incident where he chose to take a gun and use it like a battering ram against American citizens' head, like the head was a door, all he could think about is this one instance tarnished my reputation. And that's why that lady brought up all this shit, sir. No, sir. You have been who you are. The only people that don't identify you as exactly who you are is your coward-ass domestic terrorist brothers and sisters behind that coward-ass punk blue line. And that's why I say, listening to his deposition, I don't know how anybody is not absolutely terrified, completely ready for war, or both. Because it's not just him. It's not just him. He has no concern for the American citizens he terrorizes. He was a sergeant. He was leadership. That deposition was in March 2024. Not one person, and you know damn well, at least most of them seen this, if not all of them, not one person from Nevada, Henderson Police Department came out to distance themselves or their department from his cold-hearted, unapologetic terrorist admissions. And we know why. It's the same reason he was allowed to remain on the force in leadership for the time he was there. I can almost imagine those accusations, which he's American, right? So he falls under that umbrella, and he points this out. He falls under that umbrella of innocent until proven guilty. And he one of the first things that he said in response to her reminding him of the things that he'd been accused of is this. Yeah, they're accusations. It's funny how you remember that, sir, when the accusations are leveled towards you. But when you in the store with your domestic terrorist-ass partners, you, by battering ram, and your homeboy, by Mike Tyson Punch-Out, have already convicted two American citizens who never even got close to a courtroom to have a fair day in court. My last question is this right here, and it refers back to this gentleman who got himself in this situation. And I'm not saying that means that the cops' actions are justified. I'm saying I'm just a fan of full accountability and transparency. Why do y'all think they settled this case, man? This was gift wrapped as the officer made the best decision in the moment. This is qualified immunity material 101. He jumped in. They come into the situation and see a melee. They don't know what's going on. They have to control the situation. They have to get it contained. We've seen them, and we've seen the bruises on his face. We've seen what the officer did with the weapon. They didn't, like I say, they didn't even attach the fact that that other officer in the background was doing it. And ain't no telling. He already said, he removed fingers and hands from around his throat. So it was a lot more going on that we did and didn't see, that they did and didn't address. But it doesn't change the fact that this guy got himself in this situation. And we've also seen United States domestic terrorists in blue do much worse things to citizens, even to murder them on camera, and they go home with paid vacations and crowd-funded accounts set up by these blind blue line backers. So, I mean, I'm just curious about this situation right here. Why did they pursue this, and then why did they settle this case with this guy? Why didn't they hide it under qualified immunity? You guys tell me what you think. I think this would have been a perfect candidate for that. It was not, to me, it was scary in the fact that we live in a country, a great country, nevertheless, but a country where one of our celebrated citizens, and members of our leadership society, who's supposed to be a civil gatekeeper, could sit up on a stand and publicly, in front of everybody, including the judge should have said, sir, what the hell is wrong with you? Nobody besides that attorney who was questioning him seemed to have any outrage for his happy, disrespectful, callous, unapologetic admissions of terrorizing the American public. I'm glad this guy got this settlement. Sir, I wonder how much of this activity, though, that did you enable and look past while you did your 20 years in the Domestic Terrorist Agency of American Policing. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know where I'm at, man. Be safe, man. And don't let these cowards and anybody affiliated with them or advocating for them make you forget that you're an American citizen, and you don't have to allow anybody in America's domestic terrorist government to make you forget that. You don't have to allow them to make you forget that. You're free to be American in all of your rights, meaning if they're terrorizing you physically, verbally, or otherwise, you're American free to defend yourself. And even more important than that, you're created by God in his image, and it is your human right not to be terrorized by anybody, including men and women of your own soil. I'm out.
What stands out to you about the Henderson Police Department after handling this case?
They clearly have a culture that allowed this to happen. They had no intention of properly investigating either the incident or the internal affairs investigation. The whole thing was just a big rubber stamp. We're just going to say they did the right thing.
Shit. Isn't that American policing in a nutshell? Even though it's 20 years when your boy was a cop. Should have asked him how many bad DTs he arrested, since he's so concerned about it now. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.